first live of the year, and I am super excited. I will give y'all some time to jump on, but today we are talking about 5 things you need to stop to make 2023 your best year yet. I'm only going to wait a couple of minutes because I want to jump right into this. I hope everyone's 2023 is starting out fantastic. It is January 10th at the time of this recording, and I got to tell you, this year is starting off great. And I know it's going to be the same for you. It is a year of getting things done. All those goals that you set that you didn't complete 2022 and prior, this is the year. This is the time. If it truly matters to you and you really want to accomplish it, you're going to do what it takes, right? You're going to do what you need to do to make things work. And in today's session, I'm going to share 5 bad habits that you'll have or you do have that you're going to want to take care of in order to make this your best year yet. And then I'm going to share a couple of things to do to replace them, those bad habits, so that you're not just like, okay, you're leaving me hanging. I always like to share some of the how and then some of the why and some of the what. So I'm just gonna get right into it. I know it's early. Hopefully, I'm catching you on your commute, or if you're working from home, you're going ahead and fixing your breakfast, whatever you're doing. But tune in because we're going on in on this. So the first thing, we're just gonna hop right in. The first thing is to stop worrying about things you cannot control. Cannot I can't hash on this enough because when we worry about things we can't control, it puts us in this sense of fear, the sense of anxiety. And if because you can't control it, it may even put you in a sense of feeling like just hopeless and helpless, right? So we have to focus on what we can control. If we take a holistic view of whatever situation or circumstance we are in, chances are we can find a few things that we can control. One being how you are responding, right? I always talk about placing an interrupt between the situation or the feeling and how you react or respond. Now, the difference between reacting and responding is a reaction is knee jerk. You don't even know that you're doing it sometimes, right? It's not an educated action. And a response is educated. A response, you actually think about it. So you want to take that breath before you respond. You want to take a moment to yourself before you respond to whatever the case may be, and then analyze what's going on. You want to make sure that you're responding with the proper amount of energy, so to speak. So what you can do is I like to take a breath. You can do something called square breathing. It's called square breathing because you start with 4 seconds. You go 4 seconds in, hold it for 4 seconds, right? Then you're gonna 4 seconds out, hold that for 4 seconds, and you're gonna repeat that. And what that does is it gives your nervous system a chance to calm itself down. So you're not getting upset, you're not feeling scared or nervousness. You give yourself a chance to just cool out from all of that stuff. And that's going to help you realize what you can control in a situation. So take a look, even write it down. Write down what's happening, write down how you're feeling, write down what you want the outcomes to be, and how you responded in the first situation, right? And that's how you're going to journal. So when you do this, now you know what you have open and available to you, right? Maybe you know you need more resources to get out of the situation. For instance, maybe you unfortunately, was laid off. Right? That's a bad situation initially. Some people, most people, are not in a situation financially to go through that right now. Maybe you don't have a savings, and it feels terrible. It feels terrible. I know you can't control the layoff though. But what you can control is what you do once you find out about the layoff. You can control whether your resume is ready. You can control whether you start applying for jobs and positions. You can control whether you look at the skills you have currently. Maybe you could freelance, right? So you just want to look at the whole picture and see what your options are. Don't feel like you're just in a permanent situation because that's where we get in trouble. Situations typically are not permanent, right? They're not permanent unless we make them that in our minds. So we have to just look and slow things down so we can catch up, we can anticipate, and we can really notice what's happening. All right. Stop focusing on the past is number 2. See, the past already took place. We can only worry about the present. Yes, the past informs the present and it informs the future, but it is not the end all be all. You still have some life to live. You still have some things to do. So let's go. So don't focus on the past. What you want to do is you want to stay where you are. Be mindful. We hear mindfulness all the time now, right? Mindfulness is just awareness, right? Awareness of what's happening in your current space, right? Because the only thing we want to do is make sure we're putting our best foot forward right now. Lao Tzu has one of my favorite quotes. He says, if you focus on the past, you will be depressed. If you focus on the future, you will be anxious. But if you focus on the present, you will be happy. That's what we want to do in 2023. No more being all over the place, worrying so much about the outcomes that we're anxious about what's going on. We're like, I need to do this now, now, now. No, let's be intentional about what's happening now. Make sure you're starting to plan your days, right? Plan it out, because if you don't plan your day, someone or something is going to plan it for you. Do the most important things first. As soon as you can get them done, when you prioritize your schedule for the day, get those most important things done first. Most tasks we do throughout the day, yes, they may feel good, like emptying our inbox, but how much value does it truly add? Most of those emails are spam anyway. Let's face it. Let's call it what it is. We don't care about most of those emails. So look to do those things. One of the things I like to do is set a time that I'll check my emails, right? So I'm not looking at it all throughout the day, because studies show that when you look to multitask, like checking your emails when you're trying to write this document, it's going to take some time to get back, right? About 10 minutes to get back into the mind state that you need to be in order to finish that task that was more important. All right. So focus in on the past, prioritize your day, prioritize your task, use your calendar. This is one of the best, most powerful tools we have, right? Use that calendar on there. All right. And now, number three, stop making excuses for not taking action. Right? Hold yourself accountable. I know it's tough. It's easier to do this than it is to say this. Right. Stop making excuses for not taking action. Be real with yourself. Right. Why are you not doing what you said you would do? Why are you not where you said you want to be? Right. Many times, again, it goes back to number one, we're focusing on things we can't control, or in number two, we're focused on things that don't really matter because we're so stuck in the past or we're stuck in the future. So let's stop making actions for why, making excuses for why we're not taking action. Just do it, right? Plan it out, like I'm saying. Make sure you have the time, the appropriate time. You can use techniques like the Pomodoro technique, where you work for a block, take a break, work for a block, take a break. Just find what works for you. You need to get in your own flow. And I always say, make your life flow with success. So if you know that you want to journal, set that journal somewhere you are every day, whatever time you want to journal. For instance, if you want to journal at night, you may set it on your nightstand. If you want to journal in the morning and you know you work in the mornings, set it on your desk, right? Just makes things flow easier for you. Identify what success really means. Identify what your values are, so that every action you take aligns with the values and the person you want to be. Not the person you are, the person you want to be. So that you can remove all excuses, and you want to find your reasons to be great, and they have to be greater than your excuses to be mediocre. All right. So find your reasons to be great. That's where the values come in. Number four, stop the negative self talk. The negative self talk is hurting us, and a lot of us don't even realize that we're doing it. And once we become aware of those thoughts, now the game changes. Right? So many of us was told when we were younger some negative thing that has stuck with us. You aren't good enough, right? Stop talking. Be quiet. Your opinions don't matter. You don't matter. Whatever the case may be, does it could be something small that just stuck with you. Maybe your coach or your parent told you something that, and it just, you just can't get over it. Right now, you're feeling like, I just can't do this. Right? They call it imposter syndrome. I don't really like that term, but that comes from somewhere, and you may not understand where it is. So take some time to really listen to how you're talking to yourself. Many people spend about 60% of their day talking to themselves negatively, all right, saying, I don't have this, I'm never going to get this, I'm never going to be this job I want, I'm never going to have it. Stop that. Change it. Ask yourself, how can I get it? How can I become the person I want to become? How can I get the life that I want? Because once you put negative energy in the atmosphere, you tend to do something that confirms it, right? It's confirmation bias. when we say, "Hey, I'm never going to land the job that I want," you do actions that confirm that. So you'll say you're not going to go fix your resume to apply for that position. You're going to make an excuse for why you don't have time to go for it, why you can't prepare for the interviews, why your company isn't going where it can needs to go. You start self sabotaging. All these things, all because you're negatively speaking to yourself, because you see yourself in a negative light, because you see yourself as inferior. So we have to change the way we're speaking. Ask yourself questions that really drive the needle. Ask yourself questions that's going to cause you to take action. And another thing, when you talk about self talk, is putting some gratitude in your day. I like to say a couple of things in the morning that I'm gratitude for, not just to a higher power, but also to myself. What did I do in my life to get me to where I am, so that I can realize how far I've come? And now it's going to give me that energy and that fuel to say, listen, I've done all this and I didn't even realize it. So I know that I can reach my next goal. I know I have what it takes to do that. So try it out. Add some gratitude to your day for yourself, and see if that helps you with your negative self-talk. I'm gonna actually do we're gonna do a show on that as well, because you could talk about that all day, negative self-talk. And number five is stop saying yes to things that don't serve you. Th- Boundaries. We need boundaries. Just gonna call it like it is. We need boundaries. So you have to realize like what really, really, really works. And appreciate you, Magic, for hopping on, brother. Yeah, you want to stop saying yes, right? If it isn't what you want to do, if it doesn't move you closer to your goals, why are you saying yes? It makes no sense. Like, if I don't want to go somewhere, I'm not going to say yes to it. And be okay with changing your mind. Now, don't become the person that's unreliable, but you also don't want to become the person that's just a people pleaser. Because I'm gonna tell you a secret: people pleasers are never happy. Because they don't have their own agenda. They don't know what they truly value, and they're always reacting, which I talked about earlier. So make sure you're saying yes to things that energize you, elevate you, inspire you, and challenge you to become a better person. My tagline: design a life and business you don't need a vacation from. The only way you can do that is if you say no. No is one of the strongest things. It's two letters, but it's such a powerful boundary. When you say no, you don't necessarily need a reason, right? You don't have to give everyone a whole thesis on why you said no. Just say no. You didn't feel like doing it. It doesn't serve you, and that's fine. This is what we have to get used to, right? If you're really going to make 2023 your best year yet, the boundaries are one of the most important things you can set, and boundaries with yourself. Understanding who's really there to help, who's there, they're just draining you. Understanding what events you've gone to, or what task you've been doing that really just they don't matter, right? And we got to be frank with ourselves. It doesn't matter. Don't do it, right? Make sure you're saying no. Look at how you spent your time in the past. Again, use your calendar. And if it wasn't on there, or if it doesn't improve you in some way, shape, or form, no, that's it. Don't say yes to things that don't serve you. Stop wasting time. Time is the one resource that we cannot get back. You can't make time. So use it wisely. If you found any of these helpful, let me know in the comments. Drop it in the comments. Also, if you want anything covered, like any topics covered as I do these, let me know. And I also want to hear from you about how 2023 is going. So there's a few things that you can write. Put them in the comments below. I'm going to do these every Tuesday, and I'll let you know if I don't do it. But I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day. And remember, keep ascending. Peace.